Hello and welcome everyone to the October 30th episode of This Week in Kirkland, the official podcast of the city of Kirkland, bringing you timely topics, noteworthy news, and every once in a while some great giveaways.
Yep.
And they're delivered to you every week. I'm your host, Jim Lopez, joined today by
Angela Brown
And Kate Ryan.
as well as our very special guest, some would even say legendary guest.
Yes.
That's what I do now, Joe. I introduce you as the legend that you are, Fire Chief Joe Sanford.
I appreciate it.
Welcome back to the podcast, Joe.
Thank you.
It's very, we're very, very fortunate to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Is it a welcome back or is it a welcome for the first time?
No, Joe has been on the show
Oh,
before.
I didn't know
Yes.
that. I thought this was your first time joining us.
Joe is a podcast star, really.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Joe, we're going to talk all about Prop 1 and the new fire stations, because my understanding is we just cut a ribbon for the last one.
We're very excited about that.
Yeah, very
We've
excited.
completed all the promises.
Boom.
Yep,
And they're amazing.
they are.
But before we do that, Joe, what are you doing for fun these days?
What am I doing for fun? Going to ribbon cuttings and
There's synergy with the subject matter
there
of the
is.
show.
There is.
Yeah.
You know, I really love that. We had two over the past 2 weekends, and there was so many kids and families there, and the kids just love the fire apparatus and
Yeah.
the firefighters, and it was really fun.
That's
Oh, my
awesome.
goodness. Thousands come out for Touch a Truck. And I
Yeah.
got to say, like, the firefighter little, smoke jumper figurines coming off the truck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the most popular parts of the
It's
event.
really fun.
Big time.
Doesn't surprise me that the kids come out to the new firehouses and want to see the trucks.
Yeah, those events are fun for us too. So.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Well, we're going to hear all about our 2020 Fire Prop 1 ballot measure, and it is now built to completion. So we're going to hear all about that in the show. But before we do, here's what's going on, everybody, this week in Kirkland. Kate, I hear this coming weekend is one of your favorites.
That might need some sarcasm put in there. That's right. This weekend is the return to standard time. We're
Standard
talking
time.
about daylight saving time. The good news with this one is we're falling back, so we get an additional hour of sleep. While most smartphones and computers automatically make the transition from daylight saving time to standard time, there are always a few strays looking at you, stove, coffee, pot, and car. Pro tip, set your clocks back before you go to bed and then enjoy that extra hour and wake up like, I don't know, it never happened, although we never quite feel that way, do we? Remember that the end of daylight saving time is a great time to change the batteries in your smoke alarms, as well as check your emergency supplies, including food and water storage you may need to refresh.
That's a great tip. It's a good time to check in on all those essential items. Hey, this week we observed National First Responders Day, Joe.
Another thing that's exciting.
That's right.
There you go.
Where we honored folks like you, Chief Sanford, who keep our community safe every single day. Thank you so much. Angela, what's First Responders Day?
Yes, so First Responders Day is our opportunity to recognize the essential role of our police officers, firefighters, crisis responders, public works teams, paramedics, and 911 dispatchers. First responders serve at the front lines of community safety, often under intense pressure and with great personal
Yes.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
They run toward danger, they bring calm to chaos, and they stand watch so the rest of us can rest easy with those 24-hour shifts. So we just thank all of our first responders for their courage, commitment, and service. You inspire us, and we thank you for your service.
You inspire us.
100%.
And I just love the esprit de corps and the sense of family with our first responders, because when you put yourself in harm's way, you bond fast.
We bond fast as firefighters too, and we call it a firefighter family. So
Yeah, very nice.
it's a wonderful job.
Yep. Hey, the fall colors have been glorious this year. And
Oh, yes.
for reals, glorious.
So
Yes.
beautiful.
Hundreds of photos maybe on my phone already.
But the wind is bringing the leaves down. And as the great poet once said, to leave or not to leave.
So poetic,
That is
Jim.
the question.
Indeed.
That is an interesting rendition of Hamlet, I think. Kate, how can people answer that very interesting question for themselves?
Yes. Well, while fallen leaves can be beneficial for gardens, they can also cause flooding problems if not managed properly. So the question, should you leave the leaves or remove them? Well,
To
you want to...
leave or not to leave?
Do you have... Oh, I thought you were going to go into song there.
Well, maybe.
Poem, songs,
Yes.
yes. Well, you can aim for a balance. So some leaves are good for soil health and natural yard care, but you want to clean them to help prevent flooding and pollution. So some simple steps to take: check your storm drains and use a rake to clear them out if they're blocking. Don't blow or sweep them into the streets, though. That's both not helpful and also not legal. Dispose of your leaves properly. You want to place leaves and branches in your gray yard waste bin. And special for November, you can actually set out extra bags.
Well, good to know.
5 extra yard waste bags at 32-gallon size each week at no additional cost. And again, in the mood of poems, a leaf by any other name still belongs in your yard waste bin.
Well played. That's called the November boost, Joe. You get extra bags in November.
I get it.
Yeah.
Hey, imagine driving from Kirkland to Bozeman, Montana.
It's a long drive.
It's a lot of
That
driving.
is.
Yeah, beautiful.
I've done it.
Yeah, me too. It's a lot.
yeah.
It's a great drive.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's how many miles of roadway there is in the city of Kirkland, which is an interesting way of thinking about it.
Wow.
And the city's street crews are busy driving them, sweeping up, and keeping our streets clean from debris.
Right. You may have noticed our street crew is on a mission to remove leaves from our roads. Our 5-person crew is running 6 days a week on our 3 street sweepers,
Woo!
2 dump trucks, and flatbed pickups to clear out as many leaves from the right-of-way as possible. They're sweeping in south to north rotations, focusing on areas prone to urban flooding, covering the entire city. So 660 lane miles takes about 1 to 2 months per leaf cleaning cycle.
That's a lot of cleaning.
That's
Wow.
a lot. A lot
That's
of
a
road, a
lot
lot
of-
of
yeah.
leaves.
Yeah.
A lot of vehicles, too, that are needed to make this magic happen. So the crews sweep the city at least 7 times a year, totaling 4,620 miles, while arterials, those are those busier roads, get extra attention with 15 to 20 sweeps annually. A big thank you to our amazing streets crew for all their hard
Yeah,
work.
They do a lot out
Yes,
there.
thank
They do a
you.
wonderful job. So the next meeting of the Kirkland City Council will be on Wednesday, November 5th. Please note the day change. Every year, the council holds its first meeting of November on the first Wednesday and not on Election Day, which, of course, is always the first Tuesday. Now that we're all on the same page, my friends, here's what's on the agenda this coming Wednesday. The council will first hold a study session starting at 5:30 p.m., where they will review the 2025-2026 mid-biennial budget and the 2025 to 2030, so the 5-year capital improvement program.
After a short break, the council will return at 7:30 for their business agenda, which will include 2 public hearings. The first will be what you mentioned, Jim, there, on the 2025-2026 mid-biennial budget update, the 2025-2030 capital improvement program update, and the 2025-2030 transportation improvement program update. Lots of long-term planning there.
Yeah, we sound very administrative today.
Yes. The second public hearing will be on the preliminary 2026 property tax
At
levy.
least we only had to say 1 year there.
Yes.
You,
There
you know
go.
it's the end of the year
Yes.
when.
Yeah.
Council will also review the Transportation Safety Action Plan and speed limit setting policy.
Yeah, council will discuss and consider approval of the 2026 NORCOM budget. Now, NORCOM is a consolidated 911 call taking and dispatching communication center founded in 2007 by 20 public safety organizations in the northeast region of King County. And Joe, those are the folks taking the emergency calls.
They are, and they do an excellent
Yeah,
job.
they are. What they do in that job is really amazing to behold. I would suggest anybody watch a video of what they do. It's quite,
It's incredible,
Yeah, it's incredible.
how many things they can do at the same
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Council will also receive an update on options for draft code amendments for 2 community-initiated amendment requests for the Michaels and Goodwill properties in Juanita.
And council will receive an update on the development plan for Houghton Village.
Yeah, the full agenda will be published on the city's website before the meeting. And you can always, my friends, watch council meetings on the city's YouTube channel, Facebook page, and on the city's website.
That's right.
Hey, Angela, tomorrow is
Halloween.
Halloween. What should people remember to make sure everyone stays safe?
Well, that's right, Jim. So to stay safe, make sure all of your spooky traditions are safe by remembering to be visible as you trick or treat. Be sure to use sidewalks and crosswalks. And if you're driving, slow down in the neighborhood
Yeah,
areas.
that's good tips.
For those of you who are handing out things at home, be sure to keep your paths clear of debris so no ghouls or princesses trip on their way to your door.
You don't want the ghouls or the princesses tripping.
No. It's especially, it gets dark and wet
Yeah.
and rainy, so just
Yes.
keep those pathways clear.
Yes.
Finally, Chief Sanford would like me to mention that using battery-powered candles in your jack-o'-lanterns or other decorations so that they don't cause the fire department to crash your party.
That's a good tip, Joe.
Yes.
It's a very good tip. I'm very happy about that. And
We're being very proactive.
Is there one particular holiday decoration that is prone to catching fire more than others?
well, everybody probably thinks it's the Christmas tree, but there's been so much education on that the numbers of those have really reduced. Probably the highest one is not necessarily a holiday thing, but it's associated with many holidays. It's just candles.
Yeah.
They burn candles and leave them, forget that they lit them, and go to sleep, and then they wake up with a problem.
Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So turn them digital where you can.
Go to the batteries.
Is it digital? Electronic. I don't know what word to use there.
Probably electronic.
Electronic.
Yeah, and I was just going to say things like dried corn stalk and other decorations. If there is candles around them, I would think those are
That's
the types
not a
of
winning
things.
combination. Yeah, no. Well, speaking of candles and batteries, we've had our first round of power outages this past week. With more likely in store, unfortunately. What should people be thinking about, Kate?
Yeah. When the lights go out, a little preparation goes a long way. So let's figure that out now. So stock up ahead of time. Keep at least 3 days worth of food and water for your household, and make sure you know how to prepare meals without using electronic appliances. And stay powered up and protected. Keep flashlights and batteries handy, and install carbon monoxide detectors. Never use generators, charcoal grills, or gas stoves indoors. They can produce deadly carbon monoxide. And when it comes to keeping food safe, you want to keep refrigerator and freezer doors closed as much as possible. When it comes to potentially spoiled food, when in doubt, throw it out.
Yeah, good tips. And here are a few other upcoming events for you to check out. Election Day is November 4th, as we talked about, so be sure to mail or drop off your ballots. Kate, we have a new ballot box location near City Hall.
That's right. To improve voters' experience and safety in Kirkland, the ballot drop box previously located at City Hall has been moved to the Wester lot. That's just the parking lot right below City Hall. The new drive-up and drop design allows voters to submit ballots right from their vehicles, improving safety and accessibility and efficiency. So heads up there when you're dropping off.
Yeah, thanks for that info. Hey, the Pee Wee Monster Bash is tomorrow at North Kirkland Community Center.
Yes.
Don't want to miss that.
Yes, if you've already registered, police and fire should be there too. So come check out the fire truck and say hello to police officers.
Do the
Very
bash.
cool.
Do the Monster Bash. Hey, you can also donate blood on November 5th or 6th and enter to win a trip for Rome.
Wow.
Wow.
These prizes are
two.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the blood donation, they have the best prizes.
That's so cool. And it's
That
for a
is.
great cause.
And then we also have Green Kirkland Partnership restoration events. Check out locations in the show notes. There's many to join, so
Yeah.
check that out.
Check out that great resource. And a reminder, everybody, that as always, we have links and more information in the show notes for all of our items. Which brings us to our very special guest, the fighter, the myth, the legend. Welcome, Joe Sanford,
Welcome.
Kirkland Fire Chief,
Woohoo.
retired professional footballer, New York Giants,
Thanks, Jim. I'm
Wow.
happy to be here.
and my good friend.
Yeah.
Yes. So thanks so much. So, Joe, let's just continue on the narrative that we started in the last part. No, I'm kidding. So, Joe, this past weekend we saw the grand reopening of Fire Station 21 at Forbes Creek. Now, after building new Fire Station 27, renovating stations 22, 26, and 21, and hiring, not 10,
But 20
20
new firefighters.
new firefighters,
Wow.
we've actually completed Proposition 1 from 2020, right?
We have.
Do I have
We're
that right?
Very excited. Yep.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, Prop 1 was approved by voters in November 2020. And here we are in almost November 2025, just 5 years later. And we've completed.
We've completed it. And not only that, we, outside of Prop 1, we renovated Station 25 and built a new Station 24. So all of our fire
Wow.
stations are up to safety standards and are situated to reduce our response times. So
That's amazing.
That is so
Fantastic.
great.
So, Joe, there's a couple of things in there I want to ask you about. first, of course, it's safer for our community, right? Because
Correct.
we're enhancing
Yeah.
our ability to respond quicker and more efficiently.
Right. So response times matter. Most people are familiar with, like in the medical portion of our response, brain death. So brain death occurs within, 5 to 7 minutes of no oxygen and no heartbeat. And so it's pretty apparent why response times matter there. The other one is flashover. When
Yeah.
I started,
What's flashover?
flashover is when a room becomes uninhabitable. So the contents in the room burn, the heat rises to the ceiling, the smoke that's produced is unburned fuel.
Oh, man.
So when that fuel reaches a certain temperature, it flashes, and then everything else in the room begins to burn. And
So the smoke burns.
yes, and
Wow.
no one can survive. Even firefighters in their gear have just a few seconds to get out, so they're trained to identify when that's occurring. But when I started 40 some years ago, most materials in a building were made of either solid wood or wool, cotton, not the synthetic things that are made today. Furniture in rooms today is pressboard, which is sawdust held together by glue, which is essentially a hydrocarbon, which is gas.
Yeah, flammable.
Foam rubber cushions, that kind of stuff. So the difference in the time it took for a room to flash 40 years ago was about 30 minutes. Today it's about
Wow.
4 minutes.
Wow.
So
So on the fire side, just like the medical side, there's even more need to get to the site as
Yes.
fast as possible.
Yeah.
So response times matter, where we put the stations, how many firefighters we put at stations, all contribute to reducing those response times.
You know, in the materials we had for the Proposition 1, you had a video in there about flashover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a powerful video. We can put a link in the show
We,
notes.
Folks, you got to check out this video
Yeah.
because it's like you can actually see the comparison between
Yeah.
what was years ago and what's today.
Yeah, it's a legacy room. Both of them, they start a fire in the couches, and you just see it progress, and it's amazing the difference.
Oof! And when flashover happens, that's it, man.
That's right.
That's it.
You can't survive, so you got to get out, which is why we encourage smoke detectors and sprinkler systems if you have.
Yeah.
Gives people early warning and a chance to escape.
Yeah. So there's on the community side, critical, but the Proposition 1 had a very important element to it, which is firefighter safety.
Yes. So cancer is now the leading killer of on-duty firefighters, and they get it partly because of the same smoke that occurs in flashover. That smoke is filled with toxins, and you have they've said that you have a 400% increase in absorption in your skin for every 5 degrees of heat elevation.
Oh man.
So you can just imagine that you're going into a building and your pores are opening, and they're opening bigger
Because it's so hot.
because it's so hot, and they're absorbing these toxins. So firefighters are coming down with cancer. And one of the things that we wanted to do was whatever we could to reduce cancer levels in
Yeah.
firefighters.
Yeah. So, Joe, it's really edifying to me when you tell stories about what it was like when you first started, and then reflecting a little bit on some of the improvements we've made to the
Yeah.
firehouses.
So one of the things, if I take the theme of toxic gas
Yeah.
absorption, well, that can get on your bunker gear too. And obviously we wear that. When I first started, we had one set of bunker gear, and we'd go to a fire. We'd, do whatever we do.
Yeah.
We'd
Yeah.
wind up either soaking wet or because of either sweat
Sweat
or
or
hose.
water. Right, that's right.
And we'd come back to the station. Well, we had to be ready for another call. So we didn't have time to wash it. We had to wash it when we were going off duty. So if we had another call, we put that wet gear
Oh my goodness.
back on. And worse still, when we went to sleep, we'd put the wet gear right by
Right
our
next to the bed.
and it off gases all those
Oh,
things. So,
terrible.
and we didn't know.
Yeah.
We thought we were doing it so we could get out of the fire station faster if people needed us. So, the same way with like diesel fumes from the vehicles. The diesel fumes, every time you start it up, we put the vehicle right outside the bedrooms for the same reason,
Not
because
good.
you want reduced response
Response
times.
time.
Yeah.
But that diesel fume then went right into the bedrooms where folks were sleeping. So
But today's firehouse,
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, and so when you say your time, we're talking about like 1980s, right? Because you've been
that's right. I started in 1981. So
okay.
that's 44 years ago. Yeah.
hence the legend.
Last man standing.
I was at the Fire Station 21 reopening just this past weekend, and I was noticing the exhaust extraction system that is installed there. It's really impressive.
Yeah, that's a good transition, Joe, because from what you experienced back in the day, these new designs are addressing some of those issues directly.
That's right. So it's essentially a long hose hanging from a rail that's on the ceiling that comes over the exhaust pipe on both the aid cars and the engines. And when we activate the door, it's like a giant vacuum that starts up. And so when they start the engine, everything goes up and is pumped outside. That hose rides along a rail, and as soon as they get to where they're outside, it disconnects from the fire apparatus, and they go on their way. And all the diesel is pumped outside.
Yeah, wow.
Fancy technology.
Very fancy.
Yeah.
And I know you personally had a lot to do with that, Joe. Like you a lot of your input into this entire endeavor was around that type of design and safety features for firefighters.
There's a lot of design into the fire station that does that too. The reason I'm passionate about it is, I had a lot of colleagues and friends in the fire service who have passed away because of cancer. And there's another generation coming up of firefighters, and you just don't want them to have to go through the same thing if they don't have to.
It's wonderful. And we have to learn, we have to improve, right?
Yep.
It's interesting too because a lot of the firehouses had to have structural safety improvements. I know there was some imagery of, what would happen in an earthquake with some of the old structures.
Yeah, a lot of the old structures were the old brick and mortar stuff. We call it unreinforced masonry. And if you ever see a brick building, you can see cracks in the mortar. Well, if you shake that building a little bit, it's coming down. And there were huge beams setting on bricks that were about two inches wide.
Goodness gracious.
With no other support. And now they have big bolts and metal. Secure things up there that are 3 feet wide instead of 2 inches. So they're really, really secure.
Yeah,
So
order of magnitude difference.
And it just you want to be able to know that your firefighters are available and able to help you in the case of a disaster. So that's just, I think, such an important addition to the stations. But I was going to also ask about the bunker gear, because you talked about sleeping with it at your feet to be ready to go. The new stations, they have special rooms where bunker gear is stored, right? So it's just even again kept away in like almost a chamber, it feels like.
So important.
yeah, we call it, they're negative pressure rooms. So when you open the door, you hear a little sucking sound. It's pushing air in so nothing gets out. So that off-gassing I was talking about. The other thing that the city has done in the ballot measure allowed us to do was to purchase 2 sets of bunker gear. So
good.
when the one gets dirty and contaminated, we
yeah.
can put it in an extractor machine. It gets cleaned, and we have another set that's ready to go. So we can, which makes a huge difference in firefighter safety.
Yeah. Now, Joe, a lot of this work that we've done in response to the proposition was rehabilitating fire stations, like rehabbing them, bringing them into more modern, safe, as we're talking about. But Fire Station 27, we completely moved, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, we moved it partly because the old station had some limitations. There's some wetlands in the back, and so it couldn't be expanded too much. And we really wanted to have a second station east of I-405.
Yeah, very important.
In the event that became impassable in a disaster, to have another crew of firefighters on that side of the freeway to serve the folks over there.
Yeah, so that's a really important addition to our location.
Yeah, and it's an unbelievable station. It's state of the art.
Yeah. Speaking of state of the art, can folks go to visit them now?
Yeah, anytime. Now it's all dependent upon whether the crews are busy or have training or go on a call, but people are welcome to stop by. It's their stations. They paid for it, and we'll give them a tour if we can.
Yeah, of course, that's a reoccurring theme. All of this is possible because of the people of the city of Kirkland.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I actually took advantage of one of those tours. I was probably 10 years old, just riding my bike around the neighborhood. I grew up just a stone's throw from Fire Station 27. One day, a friend and I rode up to the station, and a friendly firefighter was there and offered us a tour and showed us the engines. And they got a call while we were in there. So he says, "Oh, sorry guys, we got to run."
Yeah,
it was a really, really cool experience. I still remember that to this day.
that's fantastic.
And we still do it.
Yeah, and I was going to say people can request a tour if they want to schedule a time and kind of get it confirmed. But again, if they're there on their tour and the fire crews have to go, then they have to go. But
That's right.
that's another way of getting into.
On our website, there's a way to do that and schedule that.
Yeah, so another thing that Prop 1 did was allowed us to hire 20 additional firefighters. Like, what was the impact there?
Well, so what that did was it allowed us at our Totem Lake Station and our Houghton Station to provide 2 dedicated aid units. And so when you talk about fire station staffing, generally we have 3 firefighter EMTs at a station. And if a fire call comes in, they jump in the engine and they respond and they leave the aid car out of service, or vice versa. If it's a medical call, they take the aid car and the engine's out of service. A dedicated aid car is you increase the staffing to 5 in a station. So 3 are assigned to the engine and 2 are assigned to the aid car. So when one goes out, the other one is still there. And not only does that provide better safety for the firefighters, but it's quicker response times to the civilians, because if a subsequent call comes in, we don't have to ask another station who's farther away to respond. There's still a crew there to respond. So that made a really big difference, both north and south in Kirkland.
Yeah, that was a big part of Proposition 1.
That's amazing, yeah. And just those stations are so busy that those additional crews really do allow us to respond faster, and not pull resources out of different parts of the city. So that's incredible.
Kirkland responds to just under 10,000 calls a year. So it's a lot of activity.
That's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yeah. So, Joe, as I noted at the beginning of the podcast, you are a former professional football player.
I am. I had short stints with the New York Giants and a shorter stint with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Now, because I
cool.
can't help myself, Joe, I do have to ask you. You were also the initial or inaugural recruiting class of Don James at the University of Washington, right?
Yes, I was the first year of Coach James, and my first year playing were the same.
Wow.
I actually was able to graduate high school earlier, so I'm officially Don James's first recruit that showed up. Yeah. So the spring of my senior year, I was at the UW trying to earn a spot.
Yeah, now, did you play in a Rose Bowl?
Yes, we played in a Rose Bowl and a Sun Bowl, and we won them both. So.
That's amazing.
Joe Sanford.
Yeah.
So, Joe, clearly you're an amazing athlete. You're an amazing chief, but you're also, I have to say, as evidenced by this very day, just a kind of a media star. I mean, people should watch the videos. Now, do you remember at the firehouse when we were filming you and
I do.
somebody was jumping up and down trying to...
I remember who was jumping up and down, too, trying to make me smile. Yeah.
That's a true story. But he was unfazed. I was jumping up and down, like, Joe! And he did a brilliant job.
Yeah,
Being unfazed is probably a good trait for a chief.
Yeah.
That's right. We had a lot of fun. Joe Sanford, thank you for coming on the podcast and telling us all about Prop 1 and the delivery of all the services and buildings from that and a wonderful initiative.
It was a pleasure, and I just want to thank the community and the council and everybody who made it happen.
Thank you, Chief, for joining us and celebrating this big milestone. Don't forget to check your batteries and smoke alarms during the time change this weekend, so you can get that extra hour of sleep.
Yeah.
Good reminder.
And that does it for this week, my friends. You've been listening to This Week in Kirkland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to our podcast production team for all their support. Thank you so much. Our next episode is November 6th. Until then, stay connected, Kirkland.